So it's April 11th today, day 8 of my wild repotting season. I finished work for the day, so I can start my repotting now, but there's some rain in the forecast starting in about an hour, so I might only be able to get one video done today. And yeah, I reorganized my area a little bit. So all of these trees in the middle here are the ones that I pruned last month but have not repotted yet. I got my indoor trees out for the day in some sun, microcarpa cuttings. My lemon tree is doing really well. That new growth is coming out really good, even though I accidentally pulled it out of the soil earlier. My crown of thorns doing really well. Got a bunch of flowers on it even. I'm gonna have to prune and repot that soon. It's getting real heavy up there. This smaller one is still alive but not doing great. Christmas cactus cuttings. Over here I've got my big Christmas cactus, which I think has recovered from its bug issue. There's a bit of browning on some spots, but these bugs seem to be gone. I think bringing it outside has helped, get nice ventilation. My clementine, freshly pruned ones, they're growing out again, doing really strong. You can see all that growth. Little cactus doing well too. So these are all the ones that I have repotted already, except for this. I actually haven't shown this yet, but my landlord gave me this the other day. It's a little kumquat seedling. She gave me a little kumquat that I have inside as well. I ate one, but I'm gonna show the other one on camera. So anyways, these are all repotted except for my little birch back in the corner there. It's doing well. I'm just giving it a lot of shade. Birches do better in shade. So I'm just waiting for that one bud to extend a little bit, and then I'll repot that probably in a couple days. Everything else is doing well. The only thing that has shown some bud growth is this mountain ash here. They're really starting to open up actually, so that swayed my decision today. I'm gonna go ahead and repot both of these mountain ashes that I had pruned already. I think they're both looking really good, and the buds have plumped up a little bit. They both really need repotting and root training, so I'll grab both of these. And yeah, I also reorganized tables and my repotting area, so I'll be doing it here now. Okay, well, here goes. So this time last year I originally had 4 mountain ashes, but I was calling them mountain maples for whatever reason. So I've got a few different playlists with mountain maples in them. In one of them I did a double trunk, which ended up dying. In one of them I did this clump style, which started it. And then another one I did 2. This one and the one I did in the previous video, which is mountain ash number 1. So I'll do this one first. This will be mountain ash number 2. And then I'll do this one last. This will be mountain ash number 3, which is fitting because it'll have 3 branches in its clump style, or 3 main trunks rather. Okay, I'll put this one off to the side for now. Both of them I'm just gonna, figure out the roots and put them back into the same pot. Okay, well, I'll just bring this camera angle down a little bit and get to work. So the last mountain ash that I repotted had a really good root system. This one looks pretty strong as well. Definitely some issues that are gonna need sorting out. like repotting trees every year because the roots aren't, you know, totally pot bound, and I can just open them up pretty easy with my hands. No need to use tools until the later stages usually. And just kind of, you know, compress it, and that loosens up the soil and the roots in there. Comes out fairly easy that way. And, you know, in the same way as using a rake or something, I'm kind of tearing out the crossing roots and leaving the ones that grow out radially. And, you know, if I tear something down here, a root, like I think I just did, I heard something tear. Yeah, there's a broken one. That's really low down in the root system anyways, so I won't be keeping that in the final design. Okay, so at this point, I generally give it a little wash and then cut off the bottom roots that I won't be needing anyways. You can see here there's a thick root that comes out and then splits off into 3 here. So I'll just cut that off and then cut some of this long stuff and then clean out the rest of the soil. So we'll just use the scissors down here. Quite a lot of good root, and one big tap root generally looks like. Not bad. So that big one will be cut back higher up, most likely. Okay, now I can use this to get the rest of that soil out from the densest part of the root ball in the middle, where it's hard to get my fingers in. Maybe if my fingers were smaller. There's a bunch of thick root growth down here. Actually, it might just all be the taproot that's kind of twisted up and zigzagged around or something. Or maybe it is 2 distinct taproots. Okay, time for another clean, and then I think I can probably just cut all along here and make that the bottom. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, okay, so there's enough root up here to keep this alive, and they grow out pretty radially. There won't be anything coming out this side, but that's fine for now. This one comes out a little too low. Yeah, I think this will be a fairly drastic cut, but I'm gonna do it anyways. The risk is worth the reward, I think. That's fairly straight. Here goes. Okay, I think that leaves enough, hopefully. That's a lot of root that came off. Now, I would try and, you know, work out these roots radially a little bit. Maybe I might still do that. There's not a lot that this tree needs to keep alive. Oh geez, that's even less than I thought I had. Nice. But, you know, I think I can actually train this one to grow at a better angle. And these ones I can just get rid of this one because that's coming out from over here actually. And then just the long stuff, and that is that. Okay. I'll just get this pot set up. Okay, so got the soil mounded up just a little bit in the center, and then I'll plant this tree a little far over to the one side because I don't want to cut off any more of these roots. I will direct this one down. See that? One that way. Maybe I can put a little piece of lava rock in there to make sure those roots stay spaced out like that. And then the other one goes off at that angle. Good start, I think. Now, that was a bit low in the pot, but now I can, you know, as I add more soil, just lift up the bottom end here, or just this end, to fill in underneath it a little bit, which will allow, you know, the ends of the roots to stay where they were, but then the middle of the tree, you know, the roots kind of angle up towards the center, the base. It started to rain a tiny bit, but I think I can get the second one done. It's not supposed to rain too heavily right away, I don't think. At least I got this one done though. Well, I think I'm just gonna make this a nice spring rain repotting session. Okay, well, I'll get some water into that and then see how sturdy it is. I might have to put a rock or something on there to keep it weighed down. You know, the root system is very one-sided and pretty small, so it doesn't have a lot to support itself with. Actually, I think that's not bad. Soil's nice and heavy. It's not, you know, like a top-heavy tree or anything, so that's gonna be fine. Okay, so mountain ash number 2, all done. Moving on to the next one. Mountain ash number 3. I really like this one. It's a good start to a, you know, multi-trunk tree, I think. This one I let grow, or I'm gonna let grow long. You know, it's pretty straight here, but once it thickens up and catches up to the other two a little bit, I'll cut it off down here or something so that it can also, you know, jut out at a fairly abrupt angle like the other ones. Okay. Another nice healthy root system. What's that? That's big thick root right in the edge. I thought it was an acorn for a second. I think for most of my trees I'm gonna try and, you know, put more moss on them this year, or get at least a little bit of moss onto every tree, because it seems to retain just the right amount of moisture. And I don't know, these trees grew really well without it. It's a pretty humid environment I live in. Southern Ontario, right next to two Great Lakes, sandwiched in between, you know, Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. Pretty humid place. This is an even bigger tree, so, or not really bigger. The trunk on the other one was thicker than the thickest one on here, but you know, this one's got 3 trunks, so overall I think there's more in this one. So this one's a little bit trickier actually. I'll just use the stick right away. I think there's a lot of fine root in there that I couldn't really get my fingers in between. Some big ones too. Yeah, that rain didn't last long. There's more coming, definitely, but just a light sprinkle for now. So I think I'm gonna have to cut off that thick root, and I don't know how much more I'll be able to do after that, but that definitely needs to come off. Okay. Give those roots a little wash, and then, yeah, that is a big thick taproot in there. It's all gonna have to come off. Very nice healthy roots though. I think it'll recover from this just fine. There's a whole bunch of them up here that are gonna be more or less the final, you know, root plane. I can cut it right here for now, right underneath those roots, as flat as I can. I think something like that. Whew. That was a big root. Wow, crazy. That was pretty much most of the tree. Now, I think a lot of this I can end up keeping and training radially. Maybe I can get rid of a couple that are growing in weird directions, like, see, there's 2. Is it too dark in there? There's 2 in there coming out and then crossing. So I'll take out that one. That's better. And this one is growing down, this cluster of roots. I don't need that. There's a bunch above it that are growing nicely. Can get rid of this little one and the long ones. And I think that's more or less it. Actually, there's quite a bit of root on here. I can cut this one and then allow these two to grow off. Downward angle. So yeah, these two can kind of replace that coming out this way. Those can come out radially. There's another kind of thicker one here. Actually, this one grows off at a weird angle. And this one is a little too thick down here. But there's nice branching ones back there, so cut that. This one goes up. I think I like the rest of that, except for this mess. There's a thinner one and then a thicker one, so the thicker one can come off. Okay. Yeah, that should be it. No more. I really like that though. That's a great start. Just get the pot set up. Will it stand up on its own? Almost. Yeah, nice. Okay, so I've got that mounted up in the middle. Maybe I can change the camera angle for this one a little bit. Look inside the pot. Okay, so I might need to cut a little more of this off actually. Yeah, it's a little too much for this pot. That's more appropriate. So kind of like this. Kind of comb them out, get them to face the direction you want. As much as possible anyways. You can always replace them with other roots in the future. Okay, that's good. So get a little bit of soil on there to weigh things down first before I take my hand off the tree. Okay, like that, and then I can do that, kind of get some of the soil underneath and raise the center of the tree a little. Okay, I think that's really nice actually. Small amount of chopsticking to get that soil underneath. You know, there's a pocket left over because of the way I, lifted up the tree there as the soil settled. Rain's starting up again now. There's a big pocket down there. You can see all the soil disappearing down into it. It's just about filled up now. Well, I think I finished this just in time because that rain is starting off heavier than the last one did. Yep. Okay. All right. Quick water, quick spin, and that's the end of this video. Good timing. Okay, that's it for mountain ash number 3. Very happy with that tree. Maybe I can put a little bit more soil on there. There's a couple roots sticking up. No, I think that's good actually. I probably planted this a little bit deeper in the soil than I needed to, but I was probably rushing a little bit because the rain was coming. Oh well. I think that looks really good anyways. Once the roots get a little bit established in here, I can take off some of that topsoil and make sure, you know, the trunks aren't staying wet. So that is mountain ash number 3, and this is mountain ash number 2. I think those, for now at least, are going to be the fronts. And yeah, well, that's it for today. The rain's coming in big time. As always, thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Cheers.